Hi, this is Saniel, and it's my great pleasure to resume the Sun in Your Heart is Rising series of videos that I've been posting on YouTube for a while. It's been a bit of a hiatus since the last time, and in the meantime, as you'll probably have noticed, I've gotten a new camera, so you get the benefit, if you can get it on your computer or your device, of high-definition versions of these presentations. And I've been busy doing other work and getting into what I think is going to be quite a cycle, sure enough, of video presentations that also, in many cases, are accompanied by audio. In some cases, the courses we're doing are accompanied by transcripts. So I'm really excited to be doing the Sun in Your Heart is Rising series again. And what I'm starting out with today, and the reason why I'm wearing my glasses, is so I'll be able to see. This is this very, of course, highly professionalized, sophisticated, graphically integrated super studio where basically I'm doing homemade show and tell, but so be it. So what I'd like to do today is a song, a chant that I use myself, and I'm going to, take down one little placard here at a time so you can actually see the words as we're going along, and I can see in the monitor here and make sure that I'm on the right page at the right time. So I'll go ahead and begin. I'll sing the song a time or two. Then go on to do some other things with it and with this communication for this first return into the Sun in Your Heart is Rising series. So here we go. Slightly shy. The sun in your heart is rising. The sun in my heart is rising. The sun in our heart is rising. In the long reach of time, we all become sublime. The one and only sun in our one and only heart of hearts. The sun in our heart is rising. Run through it again. The sun in your heart is rising. The sun in my heart is rising. The sun in our heart is rising. In the long reach of time, we all become sublime. The one and only sun in our one and only heart of hearts. The sun in our heart is rising. So, hopefully you can make some use of that. Go back and continue to read the words on other occasions if you wish. And let this settle in. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit, and then I'm going to weave it into one of the essays I've already shared with you from the written part of this project, by way of continuing to comment on the meanings here. So first I'm going to go through it. Actually, the sun in your heart is rising. So as I've said to you, what's become clear to me after 20 years of my work and 40 plus years of this heart mystery shining forth more and more strongly in and as and through me, that statement, the sun in your heart is rising, if I'm going to be reduced to 6 or 7 words as my basic message, that's it. But also, of course, it's not just your heart, capital H, my heart as well, obviously. Couldn't be saying this if this weren't true. And significantly, our heart. Not hearts with a capital H, that one and only heart of hearts. That sun, nature, is the same, fundamentally, in each and every one of us, while simultaneously permitting our utter uniqueness. Even in that very heart of the mystery, it's the simultaneity. I love that word in Vajrayana or Tibetan Buddhism, co-emergence. That says something very mysterious all the way somehow into the absolute. It's not just one and only, it also is multiple in every, I don't know. I reserve the right to be wrong about all this, but in the long reach of time, we all become sublime. Now, I do mean long reach. I'm not under the impression that we're at the dawn here of the obviously golden age for all humanity and all life. And from my point of view, this isn't just a fun project, getting this heart nature alive and cooking and awake in as many bodies, in and as and through as many bodies as possible. It seems to me that there's an urgency in the biosphere on this planet. Life won't be exterminated. It's not as if life itself is in danger, but the higher or more highly evolved conscious forms of life, not only human beings, but also so many of the other species that are right now many of them in the, well, all of us, all life forms are in the worst extinction event since who knows how long ago, when these kinds of things were last caused by immense meteors crashing into the earth and shutting down all the previous life forms of most of them. So when I say long reach of time, I'm assuming we got a ways to go, and it is urgent for those of us who have this call, who feel this intensity, this mystery moving in us. There's good call for us to get online with all of that mysterious heart power of the universal life and manifest our gifts for the sake of everyone and everything. Not only all sentient beings, but all apparently inanimate beings, which in the deeper mystery there really aren't any of from my perspective, and I think traditionally. But to continue with the placards here, the one and only sun in our one and only heart of hearts. That sun in our heart is rising. So, complete with a little, I'm thinking this is my little boy art here, a little cartoon art for you. And you'll notice that circle of the rising sun is over there on the right side of the heart, symbolic of that place in the right side of the chest, the right side of the actual physical heart organ in every single one of us. That is the seat, the source point of our very life and the place of the most intimate association of our fundamental consciousness, our feeling of being, that includes and is also transcendental to our sense of the soul or the spiritually oriented individual me or I, and our ego sense, the more materially oriented, individuated identity. But really the whole heart comes alive and awake, and ablaze, mysteriously, with this radiance of feeling, knowing, being its own nature. And knowing that that very nature, feeling, knowing, and amming the great oneness, the onlyness that pervades and is everything, everyone, all that is. So this is what I am privileged to shout from any rooftop I can get to, and along with my beloved Linda Ma. That's one of the things I'm going to be doing for the rest of this life for sure, and wherever else I go, as soon as I get my wits about me and remember the heart again. Which sometimes takes a little time, as you may notice, lifetime by lifetime. So, I'm going to read again this essay called The Essence of My Blessing, and I'll sing the lines of the chant in it as well. The essence of my blessing. It's been given to me to take my conscious stand in and as the Son of Being that resides in the heart of all hearts. The essence of my blessing is just to stand here. It doesn't take any willpower. It's not an esoteric technique. Yet, my standing here just this way somehow helps you experience and come to know your true and total self as that same Son of Being. And the more you do so, the more you're standing here with me, and along with me also as everyone and everything, talk about an ultimate mystery, will become an essential part of your blessing too. The more you're standing here with me and along with me and with everyone and everything will become an essential part of your blessing too. The sun in your heart is rising. The sun in my heart is rising. The sun in our heart is rising. We're all awakening, you see, to this core of our very nature. It turns out that leading-edge science and philosophy increasingly are reaching the same conclusions about reality and our real nature. Their leading lights are proclaiming, with growing sophistication and clarity, that everything and everyone are not only interconnected, at root we all, are indistinguishable. What a mystery! What a marvel. Such proclamations are statements about this marvelous reality that belongs to us all. Just by being your heart friend, by standing here, by being here as I am, my blessing is to help you actually come to know, and with your whole being to spontaneously, without the slightest effort, live this marvelous reality that belongs to us all. I feel like the most blessed person alive. It's utterly clear to me that this privilege of being able to serve you this way is a grace that no one could possibly do or say enough things right enough to deserve. I can give you all kinds of stories of how I got here. I can frame all kinds of more or less rational, some might dispute that, explanations for how this capacity came my way. And in fact, I will do so right here in this book. But none of that matters in the face of the sheer fact of what I am given to offer you. All the stories and explanations are like candle flames before the resplendent grace of the sun that is surely rising, now and always, and yet now as never before, in your heart of hearts. They're like mists getting blasted away by a hurricane of blessedness that is just now making landfall in, you guessed perhaps, your heart of hearts. The one heart of all hearts. the only heart that is the very heart of every heart, everywhere, every when, in all space and time, which is all always right here, right now. The reality of the real here and now is always nothing but Godness, nothing but grace, nothing but that glorious light beyond all lights. It's said that the Hopi priests, standing out under the immense desert skies of the American Southwest, intuitively understood that the prayers of the people moved our actual sun across the sky each day. Scientism and secular minds, of course, scoff at such notions as silly woo-woo, New Age nonsense. Where is the empirical proof of such a fantasy? Those who are awakening to, in, and as the heart of all hearts pause and bow before such statements as holy suggestions of our mystery. They get that just by being here the ways we are somehow supporting even the daily movements of the sun and the moon, the planets and the stars, the rivers and the winds, and the growing of living things. So I am like such a priest, I suppose. When I say the sun in your heart is rising, I'm not just reporting on what I see as a fact of nature. Without effort, I'm also helping it happen. That is the essence of my blessing. Dear heart friend, whoever and wherever and whenever you are reading or hearing these words from me, I tell you, and to me it is absolutely true beyond all doubt. The sun in your heart is rising. The sun in my heart is rising. The sun in our heart is rising. In the long reach of time, we all become sublime. The one and only sun in our one and only heart of hearts. The sun in our heart is rising. Till next time.